Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Take It Offline podcast. My name is Mike Imgood, and today I'm joined by my good buddy, Kenny Sukic. Kenny, how we doing today?
Fantastic. Excited to be here.
Yes. Episode 2, very excited.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 1 is in the books, got all the nerves out.
It was a good first episode, I have to say.
Yeah, you do. That's the difficult part. Episode 1's probably always going to be the difficult one.
It didn't sound forced. I mean, it sounded good. I listened to it at work, and I said to you that day, I want to hear more. So
yes, well, this is more, and I brought you on. I'm happy to have you on today. So, what did you end up doing this weekend?
Well, I'm moving into an apartment in 2 weeks, so I spent all weekend shopping. Bed Bath & Beyond, Sears, IKEA. I'm sure there were other stores in there.
You just made the rounds then, huh?
We were at Bed Bath & Beyond at one point with my mom and my girlfriend Courtney looking for stuff for the bathroom, and they were going on and on about how everything has to match, the towels have to match, and I just at one point said I don't have a dog in this fight, and I was looking at speakers and things. I just couldn't do it anymore. So
yeah, that could definitely be. I absolutely hate moving.
Yeah,
so I feel your pain.
It's not going to be fun.
Pain. Yeah. Well, I actually this weekend went to visit some of my friends in Chambersburg.
Okay.
My one friend, she just had a baby. Shout out to Becky. She just had a baby a couple months ago, and her and her husband, they live out in Chambersburg, so I went out to see them and stopped and saw some other friends that were living in the area. So it was a long trip, but it was definitely worth it. A lot of fun. Came back and watched some football.
Yeah.
You know how I love
Your
football.
Eagles made it.
Yes. So excited. So excited for that.
That's pretty big.
Yes.
I'm rooting for them now because obviously as a Steelers fan, I'm not supposed to like them, but I hate Tom Brady.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to see Tom Brady win.
Not another one.
No.
And I think if they win this Super Bowl, they're even with the Steelers, right?
Well, Tom Brady himself will be even with the Steelers, which is crazy. Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yes, it is. But, so we got a lot to talk about today, Kevin.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I want to take this time, gotta plug the show. I appreciate everyone who's been listening so far, and I want you to keep listening. But I want you guys to do me a favor. Please do me this favor. And go, favor, not flavor, yes.
It's a good flavor.
And please go to your favorite podcasting subscription place, iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, or YouTube. I'm on all of those. If you could do me a favor and go to those and subscribe, leave me a great review. Love those great reviews, Kenny.
Absolutely. I think I put a 5-star on it last week.
Yes,
so
much appreciated.
Hopefully that makes it to the iTunes store pretty soon.
Hopefully soon enough. But in addition to that, I also have an email set up for this if you want to reach out to me that way, if you have any suggestions for the show, if you want to leave me any feedback. My email is takeitofflinepod@gmail.com. Feel free to send me an email. I promise you I will read it and respond to you. And also, I also have a page set up on Facebook. I've invited whoever I can to the page, but you can go search Take It Offline Podcast on Facebook, and you should be able to find it that way too. So please go subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Definitely share it.
Yes.
The more people that see it, the better.
Tell your friends, your friends.
I know with the page, getting likes, you just gotta...
Yes.
You gotta spread it around like wildfire.
Yes. So I would very much appreciate all of you guys' help if you could just go do that for me. But... let's get into it, Kenny. Let's start talking about some good stuff.
Let's do it.
So, the internet is a crazy place.
Absolutely.
You find stuff on there all the time, wacky stuff, zany stuff. And so, let's jump into some stuff that we found on there. We're going to call this news and noteworthy items.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, I'm going to start off because this one hit home for me last week because this one was big, I thought. So, Betty White. Mm-hmm. Betty White. She had a birthday last week. It was on...
getting up there.
Yeah, January 17th. She turned 96 years old.
That's incredible.
96. So I was thinking about this. So I'm 26 right now. Mm-hmm. When Betty White was born, I would have been she would have been 70 years old. When I was born,
Betty White would
have been 70.
That's
how crazy is that?
I don't even know how you put that in. She has what, 3 times the... years on you before you're born.
Before I'm even born. Think about how much life she had already lived before I even got here.
But think about, like, what's amazing to me is not the number of 96, but the fact that she's so with it and so active,
Yeah.
and she does everything, and she has her sense of humor. And
Yes. You know, when I get, if I ever get to be 96,
we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
I hope to be exactly like Betty White, because she just seems to have all of it together.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's phenomenal.
What I like with her is she really has adjusted to the times.
Yes.
I mean, I know. I call my my grandma. I call her Giggy. I call her every Monday after work because I started to sing in college. I'd call her after class, and now I call her after work. And she definitely is having a little issue adjusting the fact that I'm moving in with Court.
Yeah.
And we're not married.
Yeah.
So she always has this like, oh well, if you're happy, I'm happy too. Like, and for Betty White, she's like,
Okay.
She's cool with anything. I mean, it's awesome to see somebody that active in every social issue. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's, I mean, you could think, you know, the Golden Girls is where she got big, that sitcom, you know, and that's what everyone like, you know, that's where she, I think, really got popular and all that. But then you just think a couple years ago, remember the one Snickers commercial that she was in?
Yeah, where she gets tackled.
Yeah, that one really sticks out to me. It just shows how, you know, with it she is and how relatable she is to other people.
It's awesome. And she's just, she has this sense of humor about her that's just ridiculous. Just because it's coming out of her mouth.
Yes, I think that's exactly it.
Like nobody else can pull off that humor.
Yeah, it's so good. But I saw this video, it was an article or something, where somebody asked her what she credited a long life to. And her answer was hot dogs and vodka. And I just thought that's a very Betty White answer. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, I gotta go get some hot dogs and vodka if I want to be what Betty White is.
Vodka and I, we have our days. I don't know if that's gonna make me live longer.
Yeah, well, it seems you're looking for Betty White.
Yeah, well, I know I'm talking about Courtney, but obviously she's a big part of my life. But she has an Aunt Ruth, and I want to say she's turning 100 this year. I could be wrong on that. But she's this little frail lady. I mean, like, I could lift her up with one arm. Like, couldn't be more than like 80 or 90 pounds, just a skinny lady. Every time she comes over to their house, she always cracks a beer. Like, cracks a beer with the boys.
Yeah.
And then they have a pellet gun. And she'll go out in the backyard and shoot the pellet gun.
Wow.
Yeah, and, like, it's incredible. She still lives by herself. She's just, like, won't let anybody help her. I tried to help her walk down the stairs one time. She's like, I can do it myself, and, like, shooed me away. I mean, I could only hope to be like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At some point.
And I feel like also when you get so old, you just get a pass on things.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'll be driving down the road sometimes and get behind someone who's going really slow. Yeah. And, you know, when you get behind someone like that, you get frustrated. You know, you're like, I got someplace to be.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you pass them, you're like, oh, they're old. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I hope that, you know, I get to be like that at some point, too.
Yeah, you know, maybe this is controversial, but I think after like 70, there should be a driver's test again.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
You know, I'm sure when I'm 70, I'm going to be mad and not want to do that because I love to drive, but...
Well, that's also an excuse for someone to drive you around at that point, too, so that you don't even have to.
I get a chauffeur. I hope at that point I have enough money I can afford a chauffeur wherever I go.
That would be definitely nice.
I mean, with Uber and everything, though, that'll be a reality. I mean, now they have the driverless cars.
I mean, everyone will probably have their own Uber at that point.
You know, that bums me out because I really genuinely enjoy driving.
Yeah.
Like, I just like the feeling of it. It's relaxing for me.
It's relaxing.
And to think of a day and age where obviously it's going to be safer. I would think it'll be safer if everybody's car is on the same system.
Right.
And they know when things are stopping. I mean, that's great, but that would really bum me out. I don't know if I want to live in a world like that.
We have a long time to think about that, at least.
I know. I hope.
So the next thing that I saw, and I showed you a video of this before we came on.
Yeah.
And when I saw this, I was like, I have to talk about this. There's this salon. I think it's only one salon. It's located in India.
Yeah.
Where when they give you a haircut, they actually light your hair on fire.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
And I saw this, and I was just blown away by it. So the video showed this guy, he had longer hair, like relatively long hair, longer than mine at least. and he was getting his hair cut, and the barber was like running the comb and the scissors through his hair, but flames were just shooting at the top of his head.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems so dangerous to me. Like, I cannot even fathom wanting to let anyone do that to me.
Yeah, you know, I feel like you're always told to stay away from fire. And I know I was screwing around when I was younger with a lighter. And
Yeah.
I had long hair in the front before, and I caught the front on fire. And just that smell of burning hair is disgusting. I can't imagine wanting somebody to do that to me.
Oh, I did see, I think, as well, that they're supposed to, like, spray something on your hair to prevent that burning smell. But even, I was trying to think how this even began. So,
who had the idea?
Yeah, so you're sitting in a salon or a barber shop or something, and someone comes up to you and they say, you know, hey, hear me out for a second. I'm gonna cut your hair.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna set it on fire too.
Trust me, it'll look great.
Yeah, trust me,
A lot
it'll
of
be
volume.
good. Yeah, it'll be good. I just my reaction to that would be no.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, no, thank you.
You know, I saw another video similar to this where instead of using flames, they had the person lay their head down as if you were laying to get your hair washed.
Yeah,
So all your hair's hanging down. It was like for women, so your hair's longer. And instead of flames, he had sharp knives, and he was just slinging back and forth.
That just seems so dangerous.
I mean, what is it? A little more texture? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Specifically with the flame, they were saying that it's supposed to kill like the dead hair and the dead ends and stuff like that, which I guess is beneficial. But maybe there's a better way to do that other than catching your hair on fire?
I'm sure we're not experts with the hair.
I'm definitely not. 100%.
But I would think that whenever you get a cut, at least my impression is when you get a cut, they cut the split ends.
Yeah, I think
that's what helps it grow.
Yeah, I think so.
And keeps it healthy.
Yeah.
So why do I need to light it on fire?
Yeah.
Also, does it cost a lot more? Are people paying double to get their hair lit on fire?
I think that you should be paying less because that seems like a giant risk.
Are they paying you to do it?
Maybe.
Like a trial
Maybe
run?
that's it. Maybe the first person was like, you don't have to pay for this, but I'm going to set your head on fire.
I've done some stupid things in my time. I don't know if I'd be the first to do that. Maybe the second?
Yeah.
Now that I know.
I would like to see this happen live. I'd like to see someone do this in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, but maybe take a trip
Just
to
make
India
sure there's
sometime.
nothing flammable around.
Yeah.
And it's going to catch on to the U.S. Come on. Everything. All the hipsters in the world are going to jump on it.
I can't wait until it does.
God. It's going to be in the news at some point. Somebody lights on fire.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, did you find anything fun this week?
I did. And mine, I guess we're going to go away from the positive for a second. So I have a bad habit of, I'll go on deep dives on just a subject. So, for instance, a couple weeks ago, I was listening to another podcast called My Favorite Murder.
Okay.
And every week, they've probably done this for 2 years. Every week they talk about, there's two women, they each bring in a story about a famous murderer from around the world. And they just talk about it. Sounds kind of weird to be interested in that, but it's interesting to get into the head of somebody that thinks like that.
Yeah.
So I was doing like a deep dive, and I was looking at like creepy things on YouTube.
Yeah.
So like Slender Man and that. Like Slender Man, I'm still deeply afraid of.
Oh, we could have a
And
completely
they're making a movie. There's a movie coming
I did
out.
see that.
I just saw the trailer.
I am all bought into the Slender Man fan.
God, I hate it. I hate it. I used to play that Slender game
did I.
with my stepbrothers when I was like 16.
Yep.
But I was doing a deep dive, and one came up about like numbers and hotlines you can call. Mm-hmm. And there was this one, it's an Illinois number, and they're called Booth World Industries.
Okay.
And supposedly when you call it, you're either greeted by a recording or a woman with a pretty shrill voice that's not the most human sounding. Like there's just something off about it.
Okay.
And once you call them, they get your name, and they get your number. They say they just located where your phone is at currently with GPS, and they're going to have a representative contact you in the coming days for a quote unquote remodeling.
Okay.
And then it hangs up. So apparently the story behind it is that a guy called it, and didn't hear anything back, and then got a call back from the number, didn't answer it. And I guess he had left a message before joking around about his ex,
Okay.
saying that my ex needs remodeled, like just joking
Okay.
around. And he gets a call back and he listens to the message, and it is that same woman saying, "Thank you for scheduling your remodeling. It was carried through." And then it plays a sound clip of the ex basically saying, "Who are you?" And then it's a scream and it cuts silent. And then it's a deep voice saying, basically, "Thank you for scheduling your service." And they say to the guy, "You're next unless you can get us 1,000 more members." So members just being people
Yeah.
to off.
Yeah.
So there's been people that have called this number and left messages, and they get calls back. And, you know, it could just be YouTube. They're not, they're saying that they died after that, or
Yeah.
so, like just faking it.
Right.
I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
So supposedly it started on Reddit, and it just turned into this big thing. Like how wasn't Slenderman?
Slenderman
Reddit, or
was on. It was on one of those sites like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at that, and I actually listened. I watched a guy like live stream call the number,
Yeah.
and the voice is so creepy, and just them calling it remodeling sounds like something. What was the book?
84?
84. It
Yeah,
sounds like
19
something right out of that.
Yeah. That sounds creepy. And
Mm-hmm.
how do people even find stuff like this?
So from my understanding, it was just a Reddit thread.
Yeah.
And somebody posted the number.
And
it turned into this big thing. But the fact that number is, I mean, we could call it right now. It's a functioning
Yeah.
line. The fact that it's a functioning line, and just to hear them go, "We've traced your number. We're sending a representative to you." Because realistically, in this day and age, you can track a phone.
Yeah.
I mean, wherever you want to go, you could track it.
I mean, I just have so many questions about this now. Like, who are these people?
Right.
For one.
Right.
And how did this all get set up? Who's calling it?
Right.
You know? It's
right.
just-
So is it an actual thing, or is it just somebody set up like a forwarding?
yeah.
I mean, that all that stuff scares me. I look at all like all of like the like different theories and things.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And I just I get into deep dives and I'm like, what is life?
Yeah.
Like everything blows my mind now.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I mean-
I hate that creepy stuff like that actually exists.
Yeah.
You know?
And my problem is I always find this stuff at like 2 a.m.
Oh, absolutely. When else would you find
Yeah,
it?
so I'm just like by myself with headphones in.
Yeah.
And like I'm either it's like that or I'm seeing a murder thing or
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I find it interesting to get into the head of people like that and like the
Yeah.
thought process behind it. But just seeing something like that or like the Slender Man thing, how
Yeah.
that became real with those 2 girls that tried to kill their friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't trust anybody.
I wonder how like the police or anyone haven't found that yet, or like how they haven't.
So what I wonder is if they have, and they, like, is it criminal to have that hotline if they're not, like, can you prove that they're doing
I guess
something?
that's true too.
Or is
yeah.
it just like any other hotline?
Yeah. I mean, that's just creepy.
Yeah, and I mean, even on top of that, if they did close it, you could just open it up
That's
a new
true.
line.
Yeah, you just do something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just freaks me out. And there were all different ones on this video of different numbers that you can call.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you ever even?
Yeah. That's really sketchy.
I mean, I'll watch other people risk it. I don't need to risk
Yeah,
it.
I'm not-
I don't need to risk it myself.
I'm not trying that out at all. No.
Yeah. So,
So now, Kenny, you're a musician.
Yes.
Right? This
Yeah.
isn't a secret.
yeah.
So, I'm going to pick a topic of the week this week.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to try to do this moving forward, that we have a nice topic of discussion. We
Okay.
can have like a central theme. And since you're a musician,
Yeah.
I love to listen to music.
Absolutely.
So I picked this week's topic to be music, since I feel like we could have some pretty good talks about
Yeah.
this. So I came up with a list of questions to ask you.
Okay.
I'll answer them as well, but I want to get your feedback.
Okay.
Just to have a little bit of a music debate, because there's
Okay.
going to be a lot of debate. You know,
Yeah.
you and I are not going to see
I'm
eye
sure-
to eye on
oh,
all
I'm
this.
sure.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it, though. There's music for everybody.
This would be a really bad podcast if we agreed on everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start it off here. Are you
Okay.
ready for this?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Brace yourself. Okay. So, You're alone on a desert island
Okay.
for the rest of your life and can only bring 3 albums with you to listen for
Okay.
the rest of your life. What are those 3 albums?
All right, now first let me start by saying if you said albums to some people now, they'd have no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, that's
Because
2018.
everything's all singles now.
Yeah, that's 2018
Yeah.
for you.
So that's really challenging for me because I have a really weird spread of music that I like.
That means you're diverse and you have a nice diverse
Well,
music taste.
I'm very, very into old blues.
Okay.
But at the same time, I mean, I love hip hop and I love. The only thing that probably doesn't get me going as much is like country that's like very pop sounding. I love folk music and everything like that.
Yeah.
If I had to pick the one no-brainer album that probably I grew up on that was really instrumental for me wanting to play guitar was Dookie by Green Day.
Okay.
That album, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would pick like American Idiot, but
Yeah.
that album it was just so raw and in your face. And I'm a punk at heart. I wanted to have my hair dyed green whenever I was younger. And, I mean, I'm in a band now that does a lot of punk stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like my dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, that Green Day was a very big presence
Oh my
for
God.
that type of music. You know, they
Yeah.
were the pioneers of all that too. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That's an
I
album.
mean,
that
I
you would
listened to
pick.
them in Blink-182 all through. Actually, I remember I had a friend named Alex who lived on my street, and I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade. And back when everybody like burned each other's CDs.
Yeah.
For his birthday, I burned him a CD, and it had like Green Day, Good Charlotte, Blink-182. His mom called my mom because the first song was American Idiot.
Yeah.
And she threw it out and was so upset that I'd pollute her son with this music. I mean, meanwhile, I would sing that in the car with my dad, and I remember him saying to me like, "If they swear in the song, you can sing it and swear.
Yeah.
It's the song.
Yeah, it's the song.
Like, just don't
It's the
do
song.
that.
Yeah.
But his mom freaked out on me.
Yeah.
Number 2. So I kind of have 3 others in my head, but number 2, I'm a huge Hendrix guy,
Okay.
and my favorite Hendrix album is Axis Bold as Love.
Okay. I'm familiar with that
It
one.
has the song Castles Made of Sand
Yes.
on it, and that is one of my favorite songs ever created. A lot of people wouldn't pick that album.
Yeah.
They'd either pick his first one or they'd do some of the deeper cuts with the Band of Gypsies that he was in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that for me was a huge album.
So what was that in his music life cycle? Like, what?
That's the second
That's the
album.
second album.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Are You Experienced, Axis Bold as Love, Electric Ladyland,
Okay.
and then he was doing stuff with the Band of Gypsies.
Yeah. Right.
Because his original bass player and drummer were just getting mad at him.
Yeah.
Because I guess he was like a perfectionist and he'd do like 30 of the same take.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it wasn't digital where you could just nip and tuck it
Yeah.
until it was perfect.
Yeah.
You had to play it right.
Like, yeah. He definitely perfected the craft
he
of playing
made-
guitar.
I know. I bought the first guitar that I got. He played a Strat. So
Yeah,
I bought a
like,
Strat. I was like, oh, I gotta have a Strat too.
Just like Jimmy.
Yeah, and I have his fuzz pedal. I mean, I have all different stuff from
Yeah.
him. I have a huge picture of him hanging in my room.
Yeah.
And I can't play even a quarter as good as he could play, but you know,
Yeah.
he was big for his generation, and I think he's big in our.
I
I'd
mean-
hope he's still big.
I think that if you talk to anybody, they would still say that Jimmy is the greatest guitarist of all time.
Yeah.
Between him and Clapton. But I think, depending on who you
slow
ask.
hand.
Depending on who you ask.
Clapton, oh man, it kills me now because Clapton, he just came out. He's going,
Going
deaf.
deaf. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
A lot of those guys are.
Yeah. Clapton's getting up there too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I honestly, from playing in bands, I have hearing issues with my right ear.
yeah.
I stupidly, whenever I was in my first band, I got double dog dared to put my head up to the hole of a bass drum, and just that kick just blew
Yeah.
out my ear.
Yeah.
And since that, plus just cymbals in your ear the
Yeah.
whole time, it's shot. Everybody
Yeah.
always told me to wear earplugs, and I was like, oh, then you can't hear it. And now I can't hear it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And then third, so I'm really struggling with this.
Okay.
Because I have 2 in mind. One is more so because it's like a pump up thing for me, and the whole album to me is killer.
Yeah.
So can I have a tie for that?
You
Or do
can. Because
I can?
when we get to mine, I might have like a 3A and 3B just because it's so difficult for me. But I will,
Okay.
yes, go ahead. I'll let you
Okay,
go.
so the pump up album is Dr. Dre Chronic 2001.
Okay.
And I just like when I work out, I need something like really like a hard beat, like really big drums.
Yeah.
And just the sounds, the drum samples he has on that album. I don't know how anybody gets a drum sound like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like super gangster rap. And
Yeah.
like, I think it came out in '99, so it's like
That's like hip hop was getting up there then. Yeah.
it's like just really just dirty. I like describe sounds as like dirty or
Yeah.
creamy, but like very just dirty, raunchy kick and snare.
Yeah.
I love it. And then if I had to choose like just the tie for that, John Mayer's live album Where the Light
Okay.
is genuinely the greatest live album that I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so good. And he plays 3 different sets in it. One with just him and his normal band, one with the John Mayer Trio, which is super like blues driven.
Yeah.
And then he does an acoustic set. I think he's at least modern guitar player. I think he's the best guitar player there is.
I think you definitely have to put him up there. And I've listened to that album before, and then John Mayer has that trio, the John Mayer trio. And then he put out that live album called Try.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I loved that album for the longest time.
Yeah.
So, John Mayer might not be the nicest guy.
Yeah.
He seems like he is.
Well, you know what? He's done interviews now. He did one, and it was entitled "Recovering Ego Addict."
Yeah.
And he fully acknowledges the fact now. He's like, I was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. It's somebody in there. I guess he was 20s whenever he came up.
Yeah.
It's somebody who was early 20s and all of a sudden had the whole world in his hand.
Yeah.
Because he made a couple songs. I mean, he could get any girl he wanted. He could go anywhere he wanted.
Yeah.
He could do whatever he wanted. So he got a big ego from it.
Yeah.
He knew he was good. And it just, I think it took all the tabloids to kind of.
Yeah. But now he's getting
kick him down a
older
little
too, and probably settling into, being a decent human being again. But
Yeah.
I think you have to talk about him as being one of the greatest guitarists of our generation, of this, this generation.
Absolutely.
Because he could definitely play. He has a distinct sound about him too when he plays. That's just
It's
something
like
else.
modern Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
His guitar, actually, his signature, he used to have a signature model, and then he parted ways with the brand, but it was basically a modded version of Stevie Ray Vaughan's
Okay.
guitar.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and like a lot of his setup, like the amps he used and everything, very similar to Stevie Ray
Okay.
Vaughan.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but a lot of what people don't realize is guitar playing is in your hands. Mm-hmm. So like if I gave you my guitar, let's say we had the same skill level, same everything.
Mm-hmm.
If I gave you my guitar with same settings and you did something to it, like you tried to play the same thing as me, we'd sound different.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
There's just no way to get past how you sound naturally.
Yeah. I can remember what B.B. King would play.
Oh my god. He's so good.
B.B. King just had a distinct sound to him when he played that was
Yeah.
just insane.
He played so light.
Yeah.
And whenever he did dig in, like you could hear the passion in him playing.
Yeah. That's B.B. King will always have, like, if you would play me different, samples of people playing guitar, B.B. King would stick out,
my
instantly to me.
He had such a great sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so what is your? You said
Okay.
do you have a 4 here? Are you on the same boat as me?
Mine was tough because the way that I was kind of looking at this was albums that kind of shaped me.
Okay.
And which I think is how you kind of looked at it too.
Yeah,
was
very similar.
What albums had an impact on you, a lasting impact on you?
Yeah.
And mine, so some of them are more recent, some of them are farther back.
Okay.
So I could remember when I first started getting into music,
Mm-hmm.
the first band. So my parents, when I grew up, I was still a lot of country music.
Yeah.
Like that's what my parents had on the radio all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this band. It was a country band that came on. The name was Van Zant.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was these two brothers. It was Donnie Van Zant and Johnny Van Zant. Okay.
Was there a Ronnie?
Ronnie Van Zant was the leader of the first band's album I'm gonna pick, which was Leonard Skinner.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay,
Yes.
that's why I knew
Yes.
Ronnie. I was like, come on.
So Leonard Skinner was my favorite band growing up. Southern rock.
incredible.
I just couldn't get enough of them.
Actually, I have their greatest hits in my car. I
Yeah.
have the CD in my car.
They're just so good. And the album that really got me going with them was the first album. And the name of the album, I mean, it's colloquially known as Pronounced.
Yeah.
But it was pronounced Leonard Skinner, which is basically telling you how to pronounce their name.
Right.
But it had, I mean, Freebird was on that album, Simple Man was on that album, Gimme 3 Steps was on that
I
album.
love that song.
I mean, just the Simple Man is my all-time favorite song.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to pick this album.
Okay.
But the impact, I remember hearing that song for the first time and I was going, how did I go so long in my life without hearing music like this?
It's incredible.
It was something else. And that, I think that listening to them just was the pathway for me opening up a whole bunch of other different things.
Yeah.
So that is 100% why I picked that one.
What I love about their stuff is that you can listen to it and all the imperfections make it better.
Yes.
That's what I like about old music.
And then, back when they recorded, you didn't have different takes. Like, you just recorded it all at
And
one
if you
time.
did have a different take, it was somebody sitting there with a razor blade cutting
Yeah.
the tape.
Yep. Yeah, that was a completely different time. But I just think that that's crazy. Like, what you hear on the album is them all together in a room playing the song at the same time.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
it's so
wish it was
cool.
like that.
Yeah, it's so cool. The second album I picked is a more recent album.
Okay.
Okay. I think it came out in 2015.
Okay.
It's by the Zach Brown Band.
Okay.
It's called Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay.
So Zach Brown Band is a country band. Okay. And I think prior to that, they had 3 albums or something that were strictly country.
Okay.
Okay. And everyone loved them.
Yeah.
And then they came out with this album called Jekyll and Hyde. And I listened to the first track, and it is something completely different than anything that I had heard before. Like from a
Okay.
country band. It wasn't poppy, but it was more like alternative, I
Okay.
would say. And a lot of country followers or country music, people who like country music,
Yeah.
were not a fan of it because it diverged completely
Right.
from what
Once you
they
get out of
wanted.
the
from-
roots, then
yeah.
they're-
But I can remember just listening to this album over and over and over again, just because
Yeah.
they took a risk with this album, just did something completely different, and for me it paid off because I loved it.
A lot of people were upset about it.
But a lot of people were upset because it wasn't what they were used to.
Well, you know what? How can you? My big thing is how can you expect a band to not change?
Yeah, I
You get
100%
older, you have
agree.
different experiences, you listen to different things. I
Yeah.
mean, I can say that I'm not old and
Yeah.
I'm not a pro musician or anything, but I've played a lot of shows throughout the years, and I can say that the stuff that I wrote 5 years ago sounds nothing like the stuff I wrote for my album, sounds nothing like the stuff I did with my band, and
Yeah.
sounds nothing like I do now.
Yeah,
And that's good. I mean, it's good to progress.
I mean, if you did the same thing over and over again, I mean, for one, you're going to run out of ideas on how to do that same thing over
Yeah.
and over again. And two, people are going to catch on and be like, well, I could have just listened to this, and you
Yeah.
made something that sounds exactly like that.
You almost run into the issue like you're copying yourself.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, I know like I can tell what bands I'm listening to because I kind of start writing in that style. But it always sounds like me at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you can't take you out of it, but also trying to put you from a year ago into it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to stick to what you're feeling at that time,
Yeah.
and that's how you make the best stuff.
Yeah.
So I say experiment.
And that's exactly why I loved this album so
Yeah.
much, was just because they did something different.
Yeah.
For everyone, it didn't pay off, but for me, I thought it was brilliant, and I loved it.
Do you remember what like the big songs from it were?
So they had the first song on it was called "Beautiful Drug."
Okay.
That was like the first song that was off of it, and then the song that really got me hooked, it was called "Junkyard."
Okay.
It was this like 7-minute long song,
Nice.
but the song starts off, but then they get into like this jam session right into the middle of it, and then they come back just like blasting at the end.
That's the way to
And I
do
was just
it.
like, wow.
Yeah.
But then he also does a song, I think it's called Mango Tree.
Okay.
It's him and then Sarah Bareilles.
Okay.
They do a duet together. But it doesn't sound like any of your typical country music.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I loved about it, was that they just took this formula. You could tell that it was country music, but they
Yeah.
just changed the formula on it. And that's what I loved
cool.
about it so much. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then, so the last, I'm going to go 3A, 3B. I'm going to cheat.
Okay.
Kind of, you know,
I
we
cheated.
both kind of
If we
cheated.
both do it, it's not
Yeah,
cheating.
yeah, like because we're on the same page
Yeah.
then.
We just adjusted the rules. It's creative.
So 3A for me is Wasting Light by the Foo Fighters.
That's a killer album.
I remember, so that was the first Foo Fighters album I ever listened to.
Yeah?
And when I listened to it, I was just like, how is this? I had heard some other songs of them before. You know, the
Like Everlong.
Everlong or Times Like These.
Yeah.
Like songs like that. But this was the first album that I sat down and listened to the whole way.
That's so good.
And it blew me away.
I'm sad I forgot about that,
Yeah,
to be honest. Because that's up there for me, too.
It blew me away when I heard that album. And then the second one is, I'm a big Shinedown fan.
Okay.
Sound of Madness came out in 2009, I think.
Yeah.
It was right when I was going into my senior year of college, because I graduated 2010. I think it came out in
You
the
graduated
summer.
college 2010.
Sorry,
Or high school 2010.
High school.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I was 2013 for high school. I was
Yes.
going to say, wow, we're really...
No,
but then that number wouldn't add up.
It was whenever my senior year of high school, so it would have been the
Okay.
summer of 2009.
Yeah.
But the lasting impact that it had on me, it made me want to listen to all this different types of music then.
Yeah.
Once I listened to it. That's there's a song called Second Chance that they have. That was the album that one was on.
Okay.
But that one was a real good one.
Yeah,
for me.
that's... I'm trying to think, whenever I graduated high school, that summer, whenever I graduated, was when Yeezus came out.
Okay.
By Kanye, and I hated that album. Absolutely hated it. And the only reason I started liking it was I went to Europe with
Okay.
my grandparents on a 2-week trip, and we were in Venice, and we were just like drinking right next to the rivers running through it.
Okay.
And we were gonna go on a gondola ride, and I got a little too drunk, and I was upstairs just trying to like sleep it off for like an hour. And I listened to the song "Hold My Liquor"
Okay.
off of it, and I was just like vibing so hard to it. And ever since that, like Yeezus, if I had like a top 10, would probably be on there.
Jesus would.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody like probably thinks I'm an idiot for being like, oh, I love Jimi Hendrix and I love Yeezus. Like it's a weird combo.
Well, I mean
but-
that's perfectly fine. I think.
Yeah.
You know, you just have a diverse music taste. you know?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, even new stuff. I find
Yeah.
myself listening to the radio, and
Yeah.
okay, some of it's super produced, but like, it's catchy. It's
Yeah,
hard to
I
not
mean,
like.
It's more difficult for me to find music I like now than it was, 10
Yeah.
years ago. But
I mean, I can't invest in an album ever anymore.
it's not because music artists are really focused on putting out singles.
Yeah.
As opposed to
It's like the
whole
single's
album.
good, and then there's 10 throwaway songs.
Yeah, yeah. That's
what's the
it's a
point?
shame, but we'll get back to good albums eventually. I think. Hopefully,
hope so.
Everything comes full circle.
I hope so.
So, the next one I'm gonna bring. I love this question.
Okay.
What is your guilty pleasure music artist?
Oh man. Okay, so
So this is how I would describe a guilty pleasure music
Yeah.
artist. If I handed you my phone and you scrolled through my music artists,
Yeah.
who would I be? I don't want to say most ashamed, but like have to justify being on that list.
okay.
So that's how I would.
Do you want me to go first on this
I'll
one? Or
go
do you want
first.
to take it?
I'll
We'll
go
switch
first.
off. Okay.
I love this. So my guilty pleasure music artist is Demi Lovato.
Okay.
So
I can't argue that.
I've been listening. So I forget how many albums Demi even has out, but she had. I think the album was called Confident. That came out a few years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
That album, it just rocked the whole way through, and I thought it was fantastic. And it's like she is just very strong, and you can tell. I mean, you can tell how confident she is when she sings.
Yeah.
And just the emotion and everything that she has in her voice is just crazy. And she seems like a really fun person too.
Yeah.
But I guess that would be what my guilty pleasure is. I could listen to Demi all the time.
Okay.
Demi's my guilty pleasure for sure.
It's funny you say that, and I just jotted this down.
Yeah.
Just because you said that. Now this was probably in my guilty pleasure playlist if I
Yeah.
had one. I can't think of the song name right now, but it's Nick Jonas from Camp Rock with Demi Lovato.
With Demi.
Yeah, and it was a song, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's like the cheesiest lyrics in the world,
Yeah.
and it just keeps getting faster every verse, and I was like, oh, this is so catchy. If I had to so I had a tie on guilty pleasures, because I think one is more embarrassing than the other.
Yeah.
So Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, is an absolute banger to me. I don't know why I love that song so much.
I mean, it's a good song.
I think I just remember it because it came out whenever we were
That was
probably
in
in elementary school.
Was it in the? Was it? It had to have been like late 90s,
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably no later than like 06.
Yeah. Yeah, Shania Twain was a giant country
Yeah.
icon back then. Yeah, for sure.
That song, and I
It's
remember like I have a twin, and he used to make fun of me like, "Oh, you feel like a woman." Like it was just.
Yeah, that's a good one though. That is definitely a good one.
But my favorite song, guilty pleasure, is Sheryl Crow, "Soak Up the Sun."
Okay, I could definitely.
Now, I don't think that's embarrassing, like Man, I Feel Like a Woman is. But if I had to pick any song like that I just need to feel better, "Soak Up the Sun" to me is a perfect song.
So whenever I think about that song, I think about like a summer day, sun's out, you're driving down the road, windows down, you got your hand out the window. That's exactly what I think of when I hear that.
That's if I'm ever in a bad mood and I turn that on, I mean I'm at least gonna get 50% happier.
I mean, it's an
incredible.
upbeat song. It's a happy song.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting song. It's super simple. That chorus.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful to me. Definitely guilty pleasure, but yeah, like, I mean, I could listen to anything.
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
I could too. Yeah. I mean, I listen. I guess my thing was that like one that I frequently listen to is I listen to Demi pretty at least once a week.
Yeah.
At least once a week for
Nothing
me.
wrong with that.
Yeah, not at all.
No, I'll listen to whatever.
The other one that I would have though, this one maybe not as much. Maybe like once every few months I'll listen to it, but the Pitch Perfect albums.
Yeah.
Those movies.
So I only saw the second one.
The second one's probably my favorite one.
Yeah. Was there a third?
There's a third one. I just saw it.
Is it
not going
good?
to spoil anything.
Was it good?
If you didn't see it, you wouldn't miss out on anything.
Okay, that's a very nice way to say it. Wasn't that good? I love Anna Kendrick though.
Yeah, she makes that movie so good.
Yeah.
She's exactly what makes that movie. Okay. The next question I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
If you could hang out with one musician, dead or alive, for the day, who would it be?
Oh, that's so tough. God. So the gut reaction I have would be Hendrix.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know if I can put that down as my thing. And this is going to say, I'm sure if any of my friends from like high school listen to this, or anybody, they're going to just think I'm an idiot. But I used to be, and I still am, a huge Blink-182 fan.
Okay.
And Tom DeLonge, the singer with the high voice in Blink, who left on their newest album.
Yeah.
I have always loved him. I loved his guitar playing. Like I love that punk sound.
Yeah.
I love his singing because his voice sounds so different.
Yeah.
I almost want to hang out with him. And that is so, like, people are going to be like B.B. King or something. They want to hang out with the rock god. Part of me just wants to hang out with somebody that, like, is just fun to be around and they made music that was cool to me.
Yeah.
So I would either say him, Jimmy, John Mayer would be kind of cool to hang out with.
He would be fun, yeah.
But
he'd be fun to jam with.
Oh
John
my God,
Mayer.
he'd make me look like a joke. Oh, I've tried to learn some of his stuff and I just can't. He's so fast.
Just the style that he has too is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of them. How about you? What are you thinking?
This one, I was trying to think of someone. So, Lonnie Van Zant, who was the lead singer of Leonard Skinner before the plane crash happened and everything. I thought about him because I really liked him. I watched so many documentaries on them, and it's documentaries from whenever he was still alive.
Yeah.
And he just seemed like such a cool and chill person.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he just lived like a simple life and all that stuff. And I think it would really been cool. Like, he probably would have been like, hey, let's go, fishing or take a walk down the road or something. Yeah, like something just real chill. But on the opposite end of that, the person that I would pick for sure is Dave Grohl.
Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, I wish I would have thought of that.
He's a maniac.
He was incredible.
Yes. He seems like he would be so fun to spend the day with. He would have so many zany ideas for stuff that we could do.
Oh my God.
And just even if I just like sat on a couch and just watched him play guitar all day,
Yeah,
I think
he can't read music. He doesn't know chord names.
I did know that.
All of
yeah.
his chords are just self-taught.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't read anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's he just seems like he would be so much fun.
Yeah, he has that personality that
Yeah.
just to be with him for a day.
Because I watch interviews with him, and he's just like so goofy and
Yeah.
you know, just stuff like that.
And just to talk to somebody that went from being the drummer of the most influential grunge band, I would say,
Yeah.
ever, to then going to a pretty influential rock band
Yeah.
of the modern day.
Yeah. I mean, he's had 20 plus years of being successful.
Most people don't stay relevant for 5
Yeah.
years.
And he's been doing it for
He's
20
been relevant
plus.
since what, his early 20s?
When did Nirvana really get big? Early 90s, right?
Yeah, I think 91
That's what I was thinking. 91
is
was.
when, not Nevermind, but the album before it came out. Can't remember.
I can't
Was it
either.
Bleach, maybe? I don't know. There were a couple.
Yeah.
But I think 91 was when that album came out. And then I want to say 93 was when Nevermind came out.
Yeah.
It's 93 or 94.
Yeah.
And that was huge.
Yeah. I mean, you could talk about that as one of the most influential albums of
Yeah,
all
you
time.
know what? I could have put that in on my list too.
Nevermind?
I was a huge
Yeah.
Nirvana fan
Oh,
when I was
absolutely.
younger.
Okay. I got two more good ones here.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
This one's kind of a real goofy one.
Okay.
If you went on The Voice or American Idol for an audition, what song would you sing?
Okay, so I'm trying to think about that one a little bit. Do you want to take it
I can
first?
take
so I
it,
can,
yeah,
Because
I
I
can
think
take
I
it.
think you might have a little more prep on that.
I do. I'll take this one.
Yeah.
And this isn't like a fun one or anything, but I talked about Leonard Skinner's influence on me.
Yeah.
And my all-time favorite song is Simple Man, and that
Great
is
song.
absolutely the song that I would do if I
Okay.
went on there. I mean, like, you don't really. Simple Man's a slower song.
Yeah.
And that might not be the one that gets everyone's attention, like if you would
all right.
audition. But I think if I had one shot to go on there and impress somebody, that would be the song that I would want to do it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have I hate that. I hate myself. I'm doing a lot of ties here. So I was in a cover band in college called the Janks.
Okay.
And we played like 2 or 3 nights a week at the bars. All covers, separate from the other band I had at school that was just like original music. And we used to do The Who's My Generation.
Okay.
And I would sing it and play guitar on it, but we would start it by doing a dance contest. And the dance contest was to the Macarena.
Okay.
So we had a keyboard player and a bass player, and they would do like the boom, ba, ba, boom, ba.
Yeah.
And I would just, at this point, I usually was a little buzzed. I was definitely the member of the band that maybe drank too much before playing, but I was the only one that could drink and play. So like,
No,
they
there you
couldn't
go.
be mad at me because I still played fine.
It evened out.
Yeah, and we had a free bar tab, so I was like, how can I not take advantage of this on a Thursday night?
Right.
So we would play that, and they would do it, and I didn't know any of the words to the Macarena, so I would just go home, make a hey Macarena.
Yeah.
Go to the bar and get me a margarita.
Yeah.
And sometimes people would actually grab me a drink from
Oh,
the
that's
bar.
pretty cool.
So, but I would probably do something like that because I don't know. I think it doesn't need to be serious.
Just something goofy.
Yeah, so we would do that, and we do like 4 times around so like people could jump the whole way
Yeah.
through, and then do My Generation.
Oh,
Just singing that.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'd go from that, and as soon as it hit like the last beat of the Macarena, the drummer would hit the snare drum really hard, and then we just go da na na na.
Yeah.
And just go right into it.
Yeah.
But I love singing My Generation because I have a pretty decent range, but my voice distorts pretty easily.
Yeah.
And I can still like hit the notes with it distorted. So for like My Generation, it's a lot of like wailing on it.
Yeah.
And just a lot of energy. I love songs that are like really high impact, you know? So I would probably do something like that.
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun. I think I could definitely see why you would
Yeah.
want to do that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Got to stand out when you go on those shows.
Yeah.
And that would definitely help you
You know,
stand out.
I pride myself, especially with the bands, on just commanding the stage.
Yeah.
I might not be the most technical person in the world, but I mean, even now, I'll go up and I'll still play. The Janks are still playing at school. They just got somebody to replace me,
Yeah.
unfortunately for me. But they got somebody to replace me, and I'm still really good friends with all of them. So anytime I go up and they're playing a show, I'll play with them. And just that feeling when I like get to go up on stage again and just immediately just get everybody's attention and go for it, and
Yeah.
just to see people pumped up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
we had one time we played It was after a Penn State, not bowl game, playoffs or something,
Okay.
something like that. And there were
Sure.
all these people in the bar, and there were these little kids, parents, and they had their kids. They were watching the game, and after the game, we started, and we played "Twist and Shout" by
Okay.
the Beatles.
Okay.
And we had the little kids come up on stage, and I stopped playing guitar, and I was like down on one knee, having them sing it. Just like stuff like that is like my
Yeah.
favorite memories
Oh yeah,
I'll
for
ever
sure.
have.
For sure. Yeah. That's a good one. I like that one.
So I know I'm going on tangents there. That
No,
just like
no.
that reminds me of like all the
You're
all the
fine.
fun I used to have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Are you
Okay.
ready for this?
Yes.
So, look, I'm gonna preface this
Mm-hmm.
with I want you to tell me these without explanation first,
Okay.
and then we can justify them after.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Starting with the '60s, I want you to rank the decades of music. So '60s, '70s, '80s, '90s, and then 2000s and up.
Okay.
So you got what, 5 there? 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
80s?
5.
Yeah.
So I don't even have to think about it.
Okay, go.
60s, 90s, 70s, 2000s, 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. Controversial.
Wow.
Controversial.
All right. So mine, somebody's probably going to hate me for this. You might hate me for this.
Okay.
70s,
Okay.
90s,
All right.
80s, 60s, 2000s.
Okay. So what do we have the same
So
here?
you had 60s at 1.
Yeah, I had 60s at 1 because Hendrix was big then.
Right,
Zeppelin, Buddy Guy, all those guys that really influenced me, at least on the guitar playing
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
That to me, I could comfortably listen to anything in
Yeah.
that decade, no problem.
Yeah.
90s at 2 because I love grunge music. I love punk.
Wait, we both had 90s at 2.
Yeah,
We
90s
both
at
had
2.
90s at 2. Yeah.
What did you have at 3?
I had the 80s at 3.
Well, hold on,
You had-
even before 3, you had 70s
I had
at
70s.
1.
I had 70s.
So what's your reasoning for at 1?
Well, 70s for me, Leonard Skinner was that time. You said
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin in the 60s, but yet Led Zeppelin also had a very big presence
That's true.
in the 70s as well.
true.
I'm thinking Pink Floyd
Yeah,
in that era.
I'll give you that.
Heart
Yeah,
in that era. I mean, the Rolling Stones were still very popular in that era too.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I think like a lot of the big rock bands came out of was that like that era. I mean, I know the 60s.
I think it went to like stadium rock.
Yeah, as the 70s kept going on, you start to melt into the 80s a little bit there
Yeah.
where all that comes. But
So your third was
Journey was in the 70s.
Journey. Yeah, that's. Have you heard their singer? So their
Yeah, he
original
sounds-
singer's not dead or anything.
Right,
he
he's just
quit
not
the
with
band.
them anymore.
And their current singer sounds exactly
Exactly
like him.
like
Maybe even
them.
better.
So they did an out Journey with his name is like Arnel Pineda or something like that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But they did, and I can never find this album anymore. I own a physical copy of it,
Mm-hmm.
but digitally I can't find it. They re-recorded all of their greatest hits with him singing them.
Really?
Yes, and it is so good. If you guys listening can find this album and you like Journey, go listen to it. You will not be disappointed.
That's awesome.
It's good. It's really good.
I have no doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard him live.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh yeah.
incredible.
But that's my reasoning behind the 70s. And I did 90s next. I mean, the bands that came out of the 90s.
Yeah.
You had Nirvana, Foo Fighters was started in the 90s.
Yep.
Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam would be the album.
So are you a big Pearl Jam fan?
I do like Pearl
You're gonna
Jam.
hate me because I don't like.
I
Pearl Jam.
know that Pearl Jam is very controversial.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
yeah.
just don't like his voice.
Yeah, that style of singing that he has. But was the album 10? Was that the major album they had? I think is that what it's called.
Yeah.
That album's a really good album. Has Jeremy on it.
Yeah, I think
Even
that's what
Flow.
it was. Even Flow's a jam. I
yeah.
mean, I'll give you that.
Yeah, so that was my reasoning about the 90s. And then what did I go next? 80s. I mean, I'm a big Bon Jovi fan. I think the Bon Jovi's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of the hair metal and stuff coming out of the Motley Crue. Motley Crue was 80s,
oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the big hair and everything.
Yes.
See that's my thing is I just never got into it.
Yeah, it took me. I was not really big into it for the longest time.
Yeah.
But then, like, as you're looking for different music to listen to, you definitely find stuff like that that's fun.
I think that the 80s was like the growing pains between rock and roll and pop.
I'll give you that.
Like,
for sure.
because if you think about it, music in the 60s and most of the 70s, there wasn't really a chorus that was like this big catchy, like the chorus wasn't necessarily the focus of the song.
Yeah.
Where now, I mean, most songs, all you remember is the chorus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think in the 80s, it really started to be a thing where it's like we need to have these big glistening choruses.
Yeah.
And then the verses need to be like fast, and they're basically just talking about like, I mean, it's just like women,
Yeah.
cars, drugs, like
Yeah.
anything that they can talk, any kind of topic that's going to get a common person to go, oh yeah, I'll listen to that.
Yeah. You mean you talk about what's the music today, too?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, look at any rapper
Yeah.
today. Have you ever seen the video of I think his name's what's his name? Is it Lil Pump? One of them. If I got this wrong, I'm naming the guy that just died, which I'd feel bad about. But there's a guy that it's one of the Lils,
Okay.
and I think it's Lil Pump. He has a song called Gucci Gang.
Okay.
Do you know that song?
I don't know that song.
So literally, I think it's like a 3-minute song, and over 2 minutes of it is him going Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, over and over. So I saw this video of them, and it was like, this is what the song would be if it was the genuine different lyrics.
Okay.
And it was literally like a 20-second clip. Because he
That's-
just says Gucci Gang the whole
Yeah.
But it's a huge song. I think on Spotify it has over 100 million plays.
I think that what people like to listen to now is catchy. That's what
Yeah.
they're looking for in this song. Did we both have the 2000s as last? Like,
I
you
had second to last.
Wow. Okay. So I had.
I
it
just
last.
really don't like the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't like hair metal.
Yeah.
I didn't like the sound of it, the big reverby drums and everything.
Yeah. I can feel you there.
I mean,
for sure.
I feel like that the big thing with the 80s was like big hair and sex sells.
Yeah. That for sure.
I mean, it was guys in more or less women's clothing for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, hey, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
That's great. But it just wasn't the sound that I'm into.
There was a definite image that was associated with
Yeah.
80s music. Like you could, if you took a photo from each decade of music, you'd be able to pick out 80s, just like that.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. It was an interesting time. I definitely enjoyed the music.
Yeah.
The music from that decade. So what was your definitive ranking there at the end? You have
So it's from first to last was 60, 90, 70, 2000s, 80s.
okay. And mine was 70s, 90s.
So we're on the 90s.
Yeah, 70s, 90s, 80s,
80s.
60s, 2000s.
Now, I'm surprised 60s is low for you.
So
But you're not the first person who I've ever heard say that.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with the 60s.
Yeah.
It's just for me, I mean, when you talk about influential, all of the music in the 60s became influential for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that when you, and I'm going to get so much for this. When
Okay.
when you listen to that music now,
Yeah.
it's probably the music that holds up the worst for me.
Yeah, no,
You know?
if you show that to a modern person now, they're going, what?
Yeah, like if you try to get like kids who are in their teens to try to listen to the Beatles, which I like the Beatles a lot.
Yeah.
If you try to get them to listen to that now, they just wouldn't have any of it.
Can I say something controversial?
Please do.
The Beatles, to me, are so overrated.
That's
Beyond belief overrated.
So on that point though, so when the Jonas Brothers got big,
Yeah.
um,
They're coming back, apparently.
I knew someone who was older, and
Yeah.
she explained to me that the phenomenon that was happening with the Jonas Brothers was the exact same thing that happened with the Beatles back in the 60s.
Okay.
And when I thought about it that way, I was like, that's insane to like even think about. Like I knew
Yeah.
how big the Beatles were.
Yeah.
But like to think about them in that type of light,
Do you know why they stopped playing live on their later albums?
I don't.
Because the crowds were so loud and modern technology wasn't up to the point that they could amplify it over the crowd.
Wow.
Like the screaming women were so loud, nobody could hear them.
Wow.
So they just got fed up with it and they said, all right, we're out. And I think
not-
their last album or two, they didn't do any touring, just put the album
I did
out.
see something like that. I don't think that they enjoyed touring. I think I
No.
saw that.
Nope,
they
they
just
didn't
wanted to
like
make
it.
albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't like, I mean, I don't think I would ever want to do it.
I mean, that's the way that you sell your album, though, right? Like you go out and you meet people, and you got
but you
to
don't make money really doing
Right,
it
yeah.
because you have all the costs of
Yeah.
doing it, and it's exhausting. And if you have a family, or anybody.
You never get to see them or anything like that, yeah. Unless you bring them with you, and that's difficult on them too.
Yeah, I mean, I love to play. I love playing shows, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it every night except maybe one a week for 4 months.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah,
the
it would. I could definitely see how it would be difficult for sure.
And it's a constant party. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it has to be so stressful too. I mean, I know you have a lot of people probably doing things for you on that tour.
well, I mean,
but-
it's a constant party that you're always going to have. Like at every show, like let's say you have people that come backstage. Every night, those people, whether you are or not, are going to be drinking or doing something. Like they're in the party
Yeah.
mood
Oh,
because
yeah.
they have one night out of your whole show that they're coming to see you. So for them, they are also like, well, where's your energy? Because I
Yeah.
have all this energy.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I mean, I'm the kind of person, I cherish my time alone.
Oh, for
sometimes.
sure. Yeah. You have to. To mental health.
Yeah.
That's so important for your mental health.
So to
even.
just travel with with your band and all the people that associate with the show,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it.
Well, Kenny, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Getting this. I love talking music with anyone.
Yeah,
especially
I'm
with
sorry you
have
regard the 80s so high, but
Well, so it's about time we wrap this thing up.
okay.
So we're gonna head to some closing thoughts. You have any closing thoughts before we head out of here?
I would just say if I could plug myself a little
absolutely.
bit. For anybody listening, I guess Pittsburgh people listening, I hope you have some reach past Pittsburgh.
We'll try to get Continental on this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you talk to Julia, you
Yes.
get it in Brazil.
Yes.
And we'll just go from there.
We're going international at that
There you
point.
go.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing February 16th at Club Cafe in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to have some state college shows set up with my band Burnt Locals in the coming months. I don't know if it'll be state college or Pittsburgh yet.
Okay.
Setting up that stuff, working on a new album, and yeah.
Where can they find your stuff at?
Any digital outlet, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, I think it's on Bandcamp. Yeah, it's anywhere that you can get it. I know it's on Amazon. Hey, don't buy it, just stream it. It's cheaper. I mean, if people enjoy it, I'll give it to you for free if you want it.
I mean, I've listened to your stuff and I enjoy listening to it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's you're a very talented guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a nice little thing to change up
Oh,
the pace.
absolutely.
You know?
You got to have a hobby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I wish that music was cheaper because I always want a new guitar every week. But what
Absolutely.
are you gonna do?
So my closing thought
Yeah.
is, so we watched some good football this weekend.
Yeah.
And I've been a Philadelphia Eagles fan for my whole life. And it's been tormenting for me some
Has it
years to
been
watch them.
15 years
It's been 13 years since they've been to a Super Bowl.
since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they're going this year, baby.
going this year.
Super Bowl.
Will they stop Tom Brady? I hope. I mean, I'd rather somebody from Pennsylvania win.
Yes, I am ecstatic for this. I cannot wait. This
Yeah.
2 weeks is going to drag on because that game just has to get here. I cannot wait for it.
Did you see the celebrations in Philly?
Oh, I saw how crazy it got.
I
Yeah.
saw somebody brought a dune buggy onto
Yes.
the Rocky steps and drove it up the steps.
And they put Crisco
All
on the
over the-
telephone pole so that people wouldn't climb up.
And they still got up.
But the natives of Philadelphia took that as a challenge to try to climb the pole.
Yeah.
So
Now, are you a Flyers fan too? Or are
I
you not
only,
a hockey guy?
I only really like football's my main sport. Like I'll watch baseball, I'll watch hockey, basketball. I just don't really have rooting interest in any of those. Football's my main
Okay.
one.
Yeah, see, I'm so fair weather. Like once the Super Bowl comes around, then I'm excited.
Yeah.
But
I think
football.
that's how a lot of people are.
I'm definitely much more of a hockey guy.
Yeah.
So let's go Pens. Hopefully, I mean I don't think we're gonna get a third Stanley Cup in a row,
There's
but
always hope.
that would be crazy.
That would be three-peat.
Yeah, three-peat. We need it. Well, hopefully you guys break your 13-year
so.
curse. It could be. Was it the Cubs last year? 2 years
The
ago.
longest drought. Well, that was championship drought, I think, though.
Yeah.
So the Eagles have never won a Super Bowl.
Ever.
Never. So this would be the first time that they
Did
have.
they win when they were the Steagles?
Well, they before the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
like before the Super Bowl became a thing, they won a championship, a couple championships, but
Oh, but it wasn't
those-
the
before-
Super Bowl.
yeah,
Oh
so.
man, I'll count it.
yeah. Well, Kenny, this has been fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for
And
having me.
to everyone listening, Until next time, we'll see you for episode 3. See ya.
Guys.